Right, what can I tell you? I've just come back from a test ride earlier on, and she went really well. One of my major improvements has been my brakes. The rear brake and the front brake I've put steel braided hose, and I cannot believe the difference. It's like riding a new bike. It's unbelievable. So I definitely recommend it. One of the issues that has shown itself is that I've got a bit of an oil leak from the water pump area. I took the water pump out, and while I say that, let me just point this out. There's a shim that sits against the gear in there. When you pull the pump out, this shim, it should stick to that gear, but knowing my luck, it wanted to fall in the motor, but I did manage to catch it. So if you're pulling the water pump out of your Super Tenere, you make bloody sure that little thing doesn't fall in. Alright, one of the things I'm concerned about on this oil leak is that I can't really see where it's coming from. When I pulled the water pump out, I thought it might be here along where the split is, where the two halves of the crankcase join together. So I've just put some Pretley's quick fix just as a precautionary measure, and just to sort of also rule that out. I've put yet another new O-ring on here, and I'm thinking, see that hole over there? Inside here, because the water pump goes in the motor that way, there you have an oil seal sits in there, and then a bearing goes on top. Now in my case, the bearing is not sealed, so you have oil going through that bearing quite easily, and then the oil seal underneath. So I have ordered a new one, but in the meantime what I've done is I've tightened the spring that sits at the back. All you do is you take the spring out, and then you'll see that there's a join in the spring, and you unscrew it and you snip a little bit of the female side off, join it back together, and then put it back in the seal, and voila, your seal's just a little bit tighter. Some people don't recommend doing it, but like I said, this is a bit of a Heath Robertson effort just to see if I can fix this oil leak, because I've got a ride on Sunday, and I really want to go because I haven't ridden in 6 months. So I've done what I can for now to try and prevent it leaking oil again. This hole at the bottom of the shank there, I can only assume it's like an oil return of sorts. I would think that the oil seal stops oil from going in there, but yeah, and I'm also a bit reluctant to seal that up, because if oil is getting through the seal and then coming out there, I'd rather it leak out onto the floor than into my cooling system. So what I might do is just put a little bit of silicone around about there, and then hope for the best. But I'm about to put it back together and then take for another spin, and we'll see how it goes. So wish me luck. Right, I've just come back from a test ride. after a generous amount of silicone and the Pratley Quick Fix. You see there, just under the water pump, that's where the oil was coming out, and as you can see, it is now nice and dry. Let's have a look. Can you see in that way? Yep. Pretty good. Nice and clean. Nice and clean. So, the result.